Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lorraine again. It's March 2nd, 2025, and I did find another shorter testimony that I recorded just the day before the one that I just posted. So I just like to get this on the channel because it validates or complements the video that I just posted. Here you go. It's 11 p.m., January 28th, 2018. I'm sitting at my computer, and my electromagnetic field acousticom 2 is on. At a normal sitting rate, it would be between 0.30 and 1.00. However, while sitting in my office, the neighbors are currently targeting me, as they were this afternoon, and the levels have been going between 3.00 and 6.00 on a regular basis. When I hold up my camera to the acousticom, the people who are watching me will allow the flickering to die down, and as soon as I remove my camera, it rockets back up to 3.0 or 6.00. Today, my jawline was targeted, my upper right back was targeted, my eye, my jaw, my teeth for the last 2 days have been targeted. When I woke up this morning, the plaque that has been mounted on the center underneath the porch was on the floor. The nail that was embedded in the aluminum siding was missing. It was not on the floor. It was intentional. And ironically, this morning, none of the neighbors were out. Nobody was driving around as they usually do. Usually there are cars speeding up and down the block on a regular basis, trying to avoid cameras, making noise. But today, Sunday, in the rain, not a neighbor was in sight, not a creature was stirring, not even a rat. And right now, as we speak, the acousticom is flashing 3.00. If I were to hold up my camera or my phone to photograph it, it creeps back down to 1.00. I will be providing testimony about my targeting, the house vandalism, the break-ins, the multiple break-ins. My mother visited this week and did grocery shopping for me. She purchased some fruit, and overnight, somebody was in the house as I slept and was in the refrigerator and damaged the fruit. They have been picking at grout in the bathrooms. They have been picking at paint in the kitchen. I have photographed everything. They have been further damaging the hardwood floor. They are further damaging the burning bush shrubs in the yard, in the front of the house. All of the shrubs and all of the trees and all of the plants have been harmed. Even perennials that have died back for the winter have been either scorched or some caustic chemical placed on top of them. There's some caustic chemical placed on my grass in the yard. I had sod in the yard, and that has been damaged. And I truly believe not only are the police turning a blind cheek, because not one of them has been down this block in the 7 reports. Not one of them has been down this block in years. even though there are small children on this block and have to sit at the bus and everything. But they are involved. They are involved because they wanted to report where my cameras were. It seemed to be more important to visit my residence to scout the camera locations than it was to document the vandalism and the damage and the break-ins and the theft. To date, there have been more than $4,000 in items stolen from my residence and over $100,000 in damage. Because of the false police reports, not documenting the truth or reporting it as I'm reporting it, the insurance company has denied my claims. They've denied my claims, claiming that it's cat damage. Clearly, the damage that has been done to the house could not have even been done by a dog. But because the police have falsified reports, I'm not receiving compensation. In addition to the fact that my former attorney, Stuart J. Moskowitz, was involved in the gang-stalking. He violated his fiduciary responsibilities. He failed to keep the client, me, reasonably informed of the legal matter and status. He failed to comply with my inquiries for information and setting up an appointment. He engaged in a conflict of interest. He failed to act with due diligence. He's a slacker. He failed to supply the client, me, with requested records, the stalker incident report. He engaged in gross negligence. Failure to take steps to protect my interests. He harassed and bullied me, gaslighting me. He executed on behalf of me without my consent or permission by calling a detective to my home that I did not need. He engaged in conduct involving deceitful, dishonest misrepresentation. He lied to me regarding the meeting with the chief of police and regarding neighbor notifications of the vandalism of my property. He engaged in conduct prejudicial to the administration of justice. He engaged in conduct to intimidate and discredit. There were details lacking in all of his billing statements, important details. He was charging me for failure to act on my behalf. He failed to comply with my inquiries for information. He knowingly abandoned, stalled my legal case, missing critical deadlines, while continuing to bill me. Since 2012, I believe I have been followed at the Pinebrook Care Center cat colony. Well, prior to it being a cat colony, I did work at the Pinebrook Care Center a very, very short time. And while I worked there, I met a very nice woman, a therapist, who was feeding the cats along the property and told me that she employed the services of Miss Maria to trap and neuter and spay the cats, and she would adopt them, meaning the therapist was adopting them. She just needed help because she was in her 60s, and she paid for the spaying and the neutering. It was not done free of charge. She was paid for the service. I was brought in, shown the cat colony. I started helping feed the cats. Oh, and right now, you can hear my voice. They are targeting my voice, and I'm sure that this will happen later. They've done this before when I have been speaking. But this is a recording, and I'm speaking in the privacy of my own home. There isn't another human around. The windows are closed and the doors are closed. And I'm not speaking loud enough for anybody else to hear me. In fact, I can't hear anything that goes on next door at my neighbor's house. So there's no way that they should be able to hear anything that I'm talking about here. And I'm going to sign off right now. By the way, the acousticom is still flickering as I'm speaking. It's reaching level of 3.00 on a very regular basis. Okay. So there you have it. That is the testimony the day before. Also documenting that these things started happening to me at a minimum of 2012. After I started helping feed the cats at the Pine Brook Care Center, I continued then. I was caring for those cats for 16 years. I had the only registered cat colony in Manalapan, in Monmouth County, and likely in the state of New Jersey. And I believe that that may have been part of my early targeting. But of course, there are other things that I've mentioned in my other testimonies. But here you have it. Corrupt lawyers, corrupt chief of police in Manalapan, New Jersey, who has since retired, acousticom levels that are higher than normal, gang-stalking, harassment, rotted fruit overnight, damage to the floors. Why would the Manalapan police want to know the locations of my cameras? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so they can interfere with them. The cops are always involved. They're always involved in your harassment and targeting. And whether or not they report to my favorite bureau or some state official, it doesn't matter. They violate their oaths of office, and they are essentially public servants. They are paid with your tax dollars. So I'm going to sign off for now. Please share this if you're inclined to do so. This is another testimony. Again, this is an early testimony from 2018.